Hi, I'm Annie Clements, and this is another installment in a series I'm doing for Premier Guitar. Today we're going to be talking about the Nashville Number System. So this video is going to be the most effective if you watch it while reading the article that I've written for Premier Guitar. So if you go to their website and click on the link to the article, you can see how I'm describing everything. I'll show you all the symbols that we use in the number system shorthand. Rather than writing charts to songs with their letter names and using staff paper and all that stuff, Nashville Number System is a very easy shorthand that allows you to change keys very quickly without having to rewrite your chart. It's really handy if you're in the studio and you're on a session and say the songwriter wants to do a male vocal version and a female vocal version. Or if you're just trying to very quickly catch signals from somebody across the room, if you're on a live gig, for instance, and they're trying to holler out chords to you, it's much easier to say, hey, 1, 4, 5, rather than try to shout chord names at you and remember the keys and the number of sharps that are in every key. So I'm going to play some scales and try to explain the basis for why and how the number system works so that you can really understand it and internalize it, because I want everyone to be using this system. So it all starts with the C major scale, C major Ionian mode, which is the most common mode in music, and it's the mode that just about every song you're learning is based in. So if, unless you're listening to modal jazz or anything, but I'm going to use C major specifically because it's the easiest scale to play. It's all white keys. And if you have a piano at home or a keyboard, you can really work on ear training to help reinforce why and how the number system works. So when you think about a C major scale, you can think about it in terms of its letter names. You've got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, back to C. Now, if you think about that in terms of numbers, C becomes the number 1. It's the first note of the scale, it's the root, it's the tonic, so it gets the number 1. So in numbers, simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. So what's great about the Nashville Number System is that if you want to change keys, you just pick up, go to a new scale. Here we are in F now. You can now have to, if you say you wrote your whole chart in the key of C, you'd have to rewrite it in F. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. But if you wrote it in numbers, all you would do is scratch out the C at the top of your chart, change it to an F, because all the rules are the same. You're just thinking about it in terms of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, back to 1. It's just like the Julie Andrews doe deer, a female deer. You remember that. So the number system is a shorthand, and being that it's a shorthand and you're sort of writing shortcuts to writing your charts, there's a lot of information that's implied in a number chart that people just assume you're going to understand. So by breaking it down this way, I'm trying to make clear those implications to you so they make sense to you. So in the Ionian mode, in your major scale, if you were to make triads, if you were going to make 3 number chords starting from C, and C is such a great scale to demonstrate this in, you will notice that just by using this same finger pattern of leaving a note in between, and I move it right up the scale, some of these chords are automatically major and some are automatically minor, and that's just because they're falling right within the notes in the scale. So you might have noticed when you're playing a song, when you're playing any song, there's certain chords that you get to in a section of song and they're always minor, and certain chords are always majors. So if anything ever falls outside of the key in a song, you have to make a note of that on your chart. But if everything is within the key, within the scale that your song is in, then certain things are just implied. So I'm going to show you on the piano. Okay, so here's our C major scale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Now, if I play just triads using all keys all notes within the scale, it's going to look like this. So I'm leaving a space between my fingers. So that's the 1 chord, which is a major chord. That's the 2 chord. It is a minor chord. That's the 3 chord. It's also a minor chord. 4 chord, major chord. 5 chord, major chord. 6 chord, minor chord. 7th chord is diminished. And now we're back to our 1. So most songs are based around 4 chords. 1, 4, 5, and 6. So when you're writing a number chart, to write, and each number, this is nothing that's implied, each number that you write down signifies an entire chord, and it also signifies 4 total beats of music. But 1 is always major. We know that based on what I'm showing you. 4 is always major, 5 is always major, 6 is always minor. So when you're writing a number chart, you don't have to write 1 major next to your 1 chord, or 4 major or 5 major. Everybody knows that. People will write out minor to differentiate. So when you write a 6 minor chord, you just write the number 6 with a little dash next to it, like a minus sign. That implies that it's minor. And now I'll demonstrate the switching of keys, which is what makes the number system so easy and so seamless, and why everybody in Nashville uses it. Okay, so let's run that same triad pattern in a new key now, so you can understand that this system just picks up and translates to any key that you're playing in. So now if we're in F, F is our 1. So we have 1 major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 minor, 7 diminished, back to 1 major. The other reason it's important to know the implications of which chords are major or minor is if you're on a live gig and somebody in the band is literally trying to teach you a song, it's if someone just, says 2, 5, 1, they don't have to try and make a 2 minor sign at you from across the room. You know that it's minor, unless it isn't. So let's talk about what happens in a number chart if somebody is writing a song outside and uses notes outside of the key of the song that you're in. I like Rocketman to use as an example of this because it's a recognizable song, and it's a really killer example of Elton John pulling in just 1 note from outside of the major scale that he's in, and it just makes the song. So I'll show you how that works. Okay, this is a very rudimentary version of Rocketman played with 1 hand. So in the key of C, C is our 1, right? So the chords for the chorus are, well, I think it's gonna be a long, long. Now we go to the 4. Time, that's an F major. Touchdown brings me around again to find, back to the 1. You're not the man I think I am at all, back to your 4. Oh, no, no, no. Here, we'll do an E minor here. I'm a rocket man. Uh-oh. There's an F sharp there. There's no F sharp in the key of C, correct? So this is outside of the key of C. If I were to write down, this is Rocketman in the key of C, there's no F sharp in that key. So we have to make a note of that on our chart. And I've written it here for you. So this is what the Rocketman chart would look like in the key of C, just the chorus. Technically, that walk down is not an E minor, it's a 1/3, but here, I'll try again. So, and I think it's gonna be a long, long 4, brings me around again to 1, not the man I think I am at all. Oh, no, 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 I'm a rocket man. That's a 2 major, rocket man, 4 major, done. Fuse up here alone. So here we are in terms of numbers. Each number gets 4 beats of music. If you need to split up a bar, all you do is draw a line underneath it. So this means that you're playing a 1 chord with a 3 in the bass. And then I had to indicate that this 2 was a major 2. Normally this would have a minus sign next to it. It should If we were totally in the key of C, it would be, which we are, it would be a 2 minor. But because he threw in that F sharp, we have to write down that it's major. So that is how it translates in terms of numbers. Let me see if I can show you both at the same time. Oh. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time to touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man I think I am at all. I'm no, I'm a rocket man, burning up a fuse up here alone. But what about if a song is in a minor key? So in the Nashville Number System, we don't write songs in minor keys. Everything is written in the keys relative major. So to understand what that means, I'm going to show you right now. In the key of C, your major scale, again, looks like this. Now, its relative minor is the scale starting on the 6th chord. And watch this. I'm going to play a minor scale, playing all the same notes in the key of C. So they all share the same notes. They just start in a different place. I liken it to jumping into the same swimming pool from a different diving board. So here we are. Now this is our relative minor, A minor. It's all the same keys, right? All in the same key of C. So rather than try and write a song in a minor key, we just say that the song starts on the 6, which is minor. It's always implied minor. So again, Rocketman is a great example of this because when you first listen to the song, it starts on the 6 minor. So if you were listening to it for the first time and you didn't know it, you might think, oh, this song is in a minor key. It sounds minor. I can hear that it's minor. But it is actually in a major key. It just starts on the 6th chord within that major key. Okay, so let's just get reacclimated. We're in the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So the verse starts on the A, and as we can recall, A is a minor chord in the key of C. Pack my bags tonight, and then it's 2 major, pre-flight, there's that F sharp that's not in the key of C, 0 hour, 6 a.m., then it goes to the 4, and I'm gonna be, now it's a 3 in the bass, a 1 chord, high, 2 minor, traditional minor, and then this is a 1 or 4 with a 1 in the bass, as a kite by then, it's a 5 with a 7 in the bass. So here's what it looks like in terms of numbers. And I'll play for you. 6 minor, pack my bags tonight. 2 major, pre-flight, 3, 4, 0 hour, 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. Now we go to the 4, and I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. There's a 5 with the 7 in the bass. So that little slash means that you are, the predominant chord is the 5 major, but there is a 7, the 7th note of the scale is going to be in your bass. Same here, we have that 1/3, a 4/1. So there's your technically how you normally write your 2 minors, 2 with a little dash next to it. And since he throws in these 2 majors, we have to imply, we have to actually write out the letter major, so that we know to play major. Otherwise, we would just we would play minor there. Let's talk about this in terms of the blues. Since most people learn to play music playing the blues, it's usually based around 3 or 4 chords, and your ear knows what it wants to hear next. So it's a really great way to start to fundamentally understand the number system. So we'll do a blues in C. I want to show you in action how much quicker it is to write number charts versus letter charts. So I'm just going to write a 12-bar blues in C. I'm going to throw in some substitution chords to make it interesting and to help explain. So this is how long it would take me to write this chart using traditional charting methods. So it takes a long time. All right, now let me write that for you in numbers and show you how much more quickly it goes by. Accidentally wrote G, but I meant to write the 5. So this equals all of this, and it takes 10 seconds to write it down. And the other great thing about it is if I wanted to play the blues in F, I would have to come through here, and I would just have to rewrite this entire chart. This is the same in the key of C as it would be in F. So if I was to write my title here, 12 bar blues in C, and someone was like, let's play it in F. Okay. The end. Okay, so here's how this would work. So let's get acclimated again in the key of C, or C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay, so one chord, C major chord. And each chord gets 4 beats unless there's an underlined drawn under it, which would split the bar. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, again, 4, back to 1. Now we're going to do a 6 minor. Now we're going to do a 2 minor. So when a bar is underlined, it implies that it's a split bar. It's split in half. So the 1 gets 2 beats, the 6 minor gets 2 beats, this 2 minor gets 2 beats, and this 5 gets 2 beats. It sounds like this. 1, 6, 2, 5. But what happens if you have more than 2 chords changing within a bar of 4 beats? Well, we have a shorthand for that too. Okay, so now here's another version of a 12-bar blues, and I've added some extra chords so you can really see how the shorthand works. So let's pay attention to here. We've got 2 chords within 1 beat of music, right? Each of these, the C major gets 2 beats, this G major gets 2 beats. So down here in numbers, it looks like this: 1 and a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to add multiple chord changes within a bar, this is how that works. So this bar is the same as this bar right here. So I put in just a little walk up here. F major getting 2 beats, 1, 2, and then a little F sharp, G, walk up. All right, I'm going to play this now for you using the number chart so you can kind of hear what's happening and see it happening in numbers. So key of C, we're starting on the 1. This 1 gets 4 beats of C. 1, 4, F major, back to 1, C major. Now we have 2 beats of C, 2 beats of G, down to the 4, which is F major. Now here's our bar that's broken up. So that's 2 beats of F, 1 beat of F sharp, 1 beat of G, 1, now 6 minor, 2 minor, 5 major, and now here's our turnaround: 1, 6, 2, 5. So each of these numbers gets 2 beats, and you can hear it going by. 1, 6, 2, 5, and that's what that underline means. So here is how we do it. For every tick mark, that means 1 beat of music. So the F major gets 2 beats, this F sharp gets 1 beat, and this G gets 1 beat. The other symbols I reference are an arrow, which is sometimes used as a tie. It also indicates a push, and a diamond, so I'll show you that. So we don't have staff paper, so certain things, we just have to imply the best we can. So if you want to kind of push something, you draw an arrow like this. And then you can, so that would sound like, da, 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 da. And you can do that here if you want to. Da, da, if you wanted to anticipate those chords. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then to do a whole note, we let's say we just wanted to end the song on the 1, and just that's going to be the end. So all we do is draw a 1, and we'll draw a diamond on top of that, and that implies that the song's over. So I'm going to take it from the minor 2. 5. So here are those pushes. Now big finish on the 1. So that is my explanation for the Nashville Number System. One thing you can really work on is ear training. So I have all my students play their scales and sing along with their scales. So like I showed you earlier, if you're going to work on your scales while you're playing them, you might as well just sing along. And you can sing them in terms of their letters, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, or their numbers, better yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And you just keep doing that across all your scales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And just when you're playing your cycle of fifths exercises or whatever, every time you start your scale, if you're playing a major scale, sing along. I mean, you can sing along with any scale that you're playing, but that will really reinforce that no matter what key you're in, the numbers are always the same. They always work the same way, and they apply the same way. So good luck. I really want everyone to use the Nashville Number System so that when I'm on a gig and I'm trying to feverishly look up a chart for a song on my phone, and it's a girl who wants to sing a Tim McGraw song, I don't have to try and transpose letters in my head. So get on it, folks. Thanks for watching.